First it was Cheryl Swoops, and then now it is a good friend of hers, actually, that just lost her damn job, bruh. Yes.
Another one bites the dust. What if I told you the WNBA is quietly removing broadcasters who've spent the past year criticizing Caitlin Clark? It's happening now. Cindy Brunson, one of Clark's most outspoken critics, or should we say haters, has officially been removed from the Phoenix Mercury broadcast team. And it's not just Fever games. She's off all coverage. In this clip, we'll break down who Brunson is, her past comments on Clark, and how the WNBA and Mercury made this decision.
I'm telling y'all right now, you gotta pay close attention to what is happening in the W, dog. I spoke about this a few weeks ago. Seemed like every person that wronged Caitlin Clark in some way, shape, or form is no longer employed, is no longer in this damn league.
This comes right after Cheryl Swoops was let go by Dallas just a few weeks ago. And now, new details about that story are emerging, which we'll dive into in this video. Is the WNBA finally clearing out the voices that have consistently targeted its biggest star? Stay tuned, because this shakeup might just be the start. If you support these firings, drop a comment saying Cheryl and Cindy deserve it below. Ready to unpack all this? Let's get into it.
Everyone else is not there. Look at Kennedy Carter. Kennedy Carter's going on streamer podcasts as of right now to try to get back in the W, bro. I mean, she's trying anything to be relevant, bro.
What if the WNBA is finally taking action? What if the league now understands that allowing non-stop false narratives about its brightest star isn't just harmful to Caitlin Clark, it's damaging to the league itself? The signs are growing stronger, as yet another Clark critic ends up losing their job.
Well, guess what, guys? The proof was in the pudding, because I'm here to tell you she ain't got no damn job right now, and she's going to be going on Gilbert Arenas probably for her next employment.
Cindy Brunson may not be a household name, but within WNBA circles, she's been a recognizable voice on the Phoenix Mercury broadcast team. She spent years covering women's basketball, but things took a turn when Caitlin Clark joined the league. Brunson's tone shifted from professional analysis to something noticeably more personal, even hostile at times.
We applaud the accomplishment, but it can't truly be appreciated. Not only, you can't truly be appreciated. She showed up to a Caitlin Clark game wearing Cheryl Swoops shoes. Like, she is as big, like, even looking back on it, she is as big of a Caitlin Clark hater as there's been.
Brunson's pattern started with a strange obsession, discrediting Caitlin Clark's historic college scoring record. Instead of celebrating the milestone, she repeatedly tried to downplay it, constantly promoting Cheryl Swoops' achievements as more authentic. This wasn't a one-off remark. It became a recurring theme, a targeted effort to minimize Clark's success before she ever stepped onto a WNBA court. But Brunson's criticism didn't stop with Clark. She also pushed a strange narrative that Kelsey Mitchell, Indiana Fever's veteran star, wanted out, despite Mitchell's clear words and actions proving her loyalty to the team. It felt like Brunson was intentionally stirring up drama and friction where there was none, potentially harming the Fever's chemistry during a crucial moment in the franchise's development. Her commentary raised serious concerns about intent and professionalism.
Obviously, we've seen her trying to basically get Kelsey Mitchell off the Fever, but someone just said stay the F away from the Fever.
The Mercury commentator didn't just criticize players, she turned her attention toward the fan base as well. Brunson's remarks about Fever supporters went beyond analysis and veered into open hostility. She appeared especially irritated by the influx of new fans drawn in by Clark, treating them less like valued additions to women's basketball and more like outsiders who didn't belong or deserve to be heard.
Cindy Brunson is saying that she just thought it was a doppelganger situation, and that this wasn't Sydney Colson trying to make fun of Monica Stanano. Then maybe, like, it wouldn't look as bad, but her explanation was awful. But at the same time, like, it was very clearly Sydney Colson was trying to make fun of a college student. You're almost 50 years old, why are you on this app causing so much drama?
What perhaps revealed Brunson's true agenda most clearly was her decision to mock Monica Chinano, Caitlin Clark's former Iowa teammate. This showed her criticism wasn't limited to Clark alone, but extended to those around her. Targeting a young player who wasn't even central to WNBA narratives made it clear This wasn't about basketball commentary. It was personal. When Brunson was called out for her remarks, her reaction spoke volumes. Instead of reflecting on her tone or behavior, she doubled down and dismissed the backlash. Specifically, when asked about mocking Chinano, she brushed it off as merely laughing at a doppelganger moment, insisting it was harmless. But her refusal to consider how her words might affect players or the league's image only deepened concerns. This lack of accountability suggested not just poor judgment, but a disregard for the responsibility that comes with her platform.
This is the dumbest response ever. It was literally from last year, not years ago, and you were laughing at a professional WNBA player intimating that a young woman in college looks like a man. There's literally date at the bottom. So what's become blatantly obvious that you're really good at holding fans to a different standard you hold yourself, which is worse. And this would be like, she probably could have explained herself better, but like, and in fairness, she did say in hindsight she didn't. But this is the worst tweet. The pictures look like a doppelganger situation. I'm sorry that's not good enough for you, but that's the truth. And the college player was a grad student who was... What the hell does that have to do with anything?
The parallels between Brunson and Swoops are hard to ignore. Both are respected names in women's basketball, yet both appeared threatened by Caitlin Clark's rapid rise. Neither seemed willing to embrace the league's evolving direction. As one insider put it, Brunson has gone full Sheryl Swoops, and considering how things ended for Swoops, that's not a good sign.
She has gone full Sheryl Swoops, and that's not good. It's not good for basketball, it's not good for the Phoenix Mercury, it's not good for her own career. And I do hope that she just deletes the Twitter app. And that is what I've said to Sheryl Swoops. If you are Cindy Brunson, delete the Twitter app right now.
What makes this situation even more concerning is that it wasn't just a series of isolated incidents or rare lapses in judgment. Brunson engaged in a systematic effort to undermine Caitlin Clark's credibility in the league. In any professional sport, criticism and analysis are part of the game, but when that criticism turns into a personal vendetta, when it spreads to the players' teammates, the team, and their fans, it crosses the line from insightful commentary to something far less professional. To their credit, the Mercury organization eventually recognized the damage being done. Brunson's commentary wasn't merely harming Clark, it was tarnishing the Mercury's brand and, by extension, the entire WNBA. In a league working hard to expand and gain mainstream visibility, keeping someone on the payroll who seemed intent on tearing down the league's most marketable star made no sense from a business standpoint. The decision to part ways with Brunson was overdue, but it was ultimately the right one.
Not one to celebrate people losing their job, but Cindy Brunson was legit unlistenable on the microphone, and that's not even including the anti-CC stuff. Swoops gone, Brunson gone. They're weeding out of the fools is in full swing. WNBA teams and networks continues this trend and capitalize on their new eyeballs.
The Mercury's decision wasn't just a minor penalty, it was a complete dismissal. Normally, when teams address problematic broadcasters, there's a standard damage control strategy. Reassign them to less prominent games, issue a carefully crafted apology, or hand down a brief suspension. But Phoenix took a different route. They removed Brunson from every single broadcast scheduled for the 2025 season, not just the Fever games, sending a strong message about their commitment to professionalism and the league's integrity.
Cindy Brunson, all right? Apparently she has been fired as well. Got clipped. And yeah, if you don't know this person, she was really nasty as well. I didn't necessarily talk about her too much, but yes, she was a nasty individual.
This comprehensive removal speaks volumes about the Mercury's perspective on the issue. They didn't view this as just a Caitlin Clark problem that could be solved by keeping Brunson away from Indiana games. Instead, they recognized it as a broader Cindy Brunson problem that impacted their entire broadcast operation, along with their relationship with both fans and the league. By removing her entirely, the Mercury sent a strong message about the importance of professionalism and the values they stand for, reinforcing their commitment to the integrity of their broadcasts.
Like, nobody. Skip Bayless, to his credit, he knew who Lindsay Whalen was, he knew who Maya Moore was. wanted to have a conversation. So the fact that Stephen A is using my sister Cheryl Swoops for clicks and likes is horrifying. And I implore everybody that can hear my voice to push back on Stephen A and say, why won't you have Cheryl on? Why won't you have Monica McNutt back? Because they called him out. He just doesn't want to face the truth, and he wants to line up in the narrative behind everybody else that Caitlin Clark came down the mountain with tablets in her hand to save the WNBA.
What's particularly revealing is the timing. The Mercury waited until after the 2024 season to make their announcement. This wasn't a rash response to a single controversial remark or a quick decision made under public pressure. It indicates a careful, strategic evaluation of Brunson's overall influence on the Mercury's brand. The organization took its time, thoroughly assessing the situation before making a calculated choice, far removed from the intensity of the ongoing season.
Here's a news flash. The W didn't need saving. It just needed promotion. The product has never been the problem. It has always been the promotion. And part of the problem comes from the fact that Stephen A. Smith makes more money than God. So when it came to showing games at different times of the day and getting advertisers to line up, they had to pay Stephen before they could do right by the WNBA at ESPN, which is why ESPN lost out on this new multi-billion-dollar deal that involves 3 different platforms outside of ESPN. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
The announcement was notably understated. Brunson's name simply disappeared from the Mercury's 2025 broadcast lineup without any dramatic press release or public explanation. This quiet removal suggests the team wanted to move forward without further highlighting the controversy, treating it as a business decision rather than a spectacle. Fan reactions throughout the season likely influenced this decision, as social media was flooded with criticism of Brunson's commentary. One Twitter user bluntly stated, "She is 100% a disgrace, no ifs, ands, or buts. She has no business in any sports job, period." Another observed a clear attention-seeking pattern, noting, "Before she joined the hate wagon, she barely had any engagement. Now she has more. How sad to treat young women this way. Phoenix Mercury should be embarrassed."
So, would you say you're protecting or helping Caitlin Clark with this type of statement that you dropped last year? How about you press Cheryl Swoops to do the right thing and stop picking on Caitlin Clark? Stop saying nonsense about Caitlin Clark. Stop the race hate with Caitlin Clark. You so ready to press somebody, press your friend, press your sister.
These complaints weren't isolated. The growing wave of negative feedback put substantial pressure on the Mercury organization to act. When fans start tagging your official team account to express their embarrassment over a broadcaster's comments, it's a problem no franchise can afford to ignore. Behind the scenes, it's likely the Mercury faced pressure from various angles. While we don't know the specifics of their internal communications, the thorough nature of their response suggests the issue went beyond just fan complaints. The WNBA itself was likely invested in protecting its brand and the marketability of its rising stars, and may have had a hand in the decision. Sponsors, too, would have been concerned about commentary that tarnished the reputation of one of the league's biggest draws. This wasn't just about a single broadcaster's actions. It was about maintaining the integrity of the league as a whole.
It seems like the WNBA is listening to the fan base, right? Not just going after podcasters or just YouTubers, but going after the ones that are tied into the WNBA media. And I'm glad to see this, man. I'm glad to see them cleaning it up. Because last year was abysmal, man. Was abysmal. I mean, you had asinine take on asinine takes, all right? And it really had nothing to do with basketball. They just hated this woman. Hated this young lady, man. And it was ridiculous.
The Mercury's decision aligns with the WNBA's broader efforts to combat toxicity within the league. The creation of a task force dedicated to addressing hate in women's basketball reflects a growing shift in the organization's mindset. Brunson's removal isn't an isolated event. It's part of a larger change where hostile commentary toward the league stars is no longer tolerable. What makes this move especially significant is that it wasn't a half-hearted attempt at damage control. The Mercury didn't seek a middle ground or offer a small punishment. They made a clean break. This bold action sent a clear message to fans, players, sponsors, and other broadcasters. Certain behaviors have real consequences. The goal wasn't to suppress criticism of Clark or any player, but to uphold professional standards within their broadcast team, ensuring respect and integrity in their coverage.